あるとマイクみたいになりたい。でも電話してくれない。オークランドとブックレンドから世界チャンピオンバーチャルプローズ始まるよ。バーチャルプローズ。
To my motherfucking man, 50 grand, the alcoholic man, inject a tall can in his bloodstream if he can. Biggie Smalls, the 50 stroker, MC provoker, chocolate tie smoker. Huh? I like to max and Maximas and Acuras. Your girl butt cheeks, I'm smacking. Huh? The raw rapper, spine snapper with the little, cause all my lap a shot, the ball, I ain't your fucking comforter. And if I ever fall in love, I bet I'm fucking her. Ask the if I didn't choke her, if she try to front.
I hit record.
Hey guys, what's up? It's episode 108 of That World Champion Sound Virtual Pros podcast. My name is Al, aka Henny Omega, aka the Bandman, aka Two Phone Scorpio, aka Super Brazy, aka Pete Gas Break Tip Tip, aka No Speak Broke Boy. Call me Shinsuke Stack Up Mill Up. And with me, one half of the Holy Scheming Army, one half of Lemolition, one half of the Bread Hunters, one half of the Heavenly Thotties, my main wavy oos, Mike.
Hey, what's up, motherfuckers? It's Mike, a.k.a. Dr. Swagner Jr., a.k.a. Matt McRiddle, a.k.a. Sticky Creamboat, a.k.a. Gooey Spicoli.
Today's topic, the Wrestlemania 36 review. No merch bets on the line this year, just hard-hitting opinions from your two favorite shooters. Hit us on Twitter and Instagram at VRTLPros. Hit us at virtualpros64@gmail.com if you want to participate. Hit us on iTunes. What else have we got? Spotify. And our Discord has just been popping off as of late. We got some emails, Mike. You mind starting off with that first?
Sure.
And a Discord question, actually.
Yeah, very long Discord question, and we'll get to that. Yeah, I should preface this that I was just hanging out with the boys on Zoom. Had our little dudes night out, but virtually, and I'm pretty fucking drunk, so it's gonna be a sloppy episode. Yeah, I usually don't like pointing that out because I'm usually drunk, but this is especially drunk. But first email is from Joe Spostu. It's cornballs and scoopsters. Hey, crossed animals. Just for clarity on the whole Fat Joe Rover deal. Oh yeah, that's right. He breaks this down.
Right? Yeah.
Twitter user Dajosk11 pieced it together here, and then he provides a link. Someone named MedB called Fat Joe a cornball. Joe went to Med's timeline, and instead of replying to Med, replied to Med's most recent retweet, which was the Rover retweet. I know most people don't like Bix Rover at all. Your VCR Vermins and Meltzer said what's and so on, and sometimes they do go way too far, but I like seeing them all call Dave on his lameness. I love the Wrestling Criterion Collection. Being basic, I'd pick the ECW heel run of Cactus Jack, as there are matches that only made TV as clips, promos that had extended takes on Pioneer home releases, and of course the infamous October 28th, 1995 show with the fire chair. I say release it all. Stay safe, Joe, a.k.a. not Tyler's dad, a.k.a. not words. Yeah, I'm very glad he cleared up that Fat Joe thing, because even though I think the result wasn't the best scenarios that I had in my mind, it still was one of them that, Fat Joe is just an idiot and retweeted the wrong thing, but it makes a lot of sense. And I clicked the link, and the guy who cracked the case has like a little video that shows the how it all went down. But outside of that, I forgot what the thing about calling Dave out on his lameness was. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm done.
Yeah, that's sad, dude. I really wanted Fat Joe to be like a real wrestling enthusiast with the stopwatch and everything.
Yeah,
that's okay. That's fine. Next email is from Dan, my man Dan, titled "IG Live: Real World Champs and Al Being a Hater." Oh, come on, this is a bad start. Hey guys, hope you are both staying safe, sane, and healthy. Got 3 quick ones for you this week. 1. Who is the real world heavyweight champ of rappers walking around with WWE belts? Pastor Troy or Paul Wall? 2. Instagram live battles between songwriters/producers are the in thing right now, and I'm really enjoying them. How could you see this format being applied to wrestling culture? Are we getting promo battles? Jim Johnson and CFO $ Sound Clash? Let me know. 3. I became number 1 on a Tetris 99 game last week, and Al had a stunt on me, and he said that he'd done it 10 times. I've never felt so poor in my life. Why, Al? Why? That's me. Lots of love from South London. One day Nando's will reopen, and the bounty shall be plentiful. Daniel. To my recollection, I think Paul Wall had the IC belt, whereas Pastor Troy, I think he had big gold. I think. I could be wrong. With that said, I think the IC belt trumps it. Wait, no, he said WWE belt. Which belt did Pastor Troy have? Do you know, Mike?
I thought he had the big belt too. So I don't know. I think Dan's a little off. Could be wrong though.
I gotta know right now, dude. Yeah, he has big gold. Come on, man. You can't just throw me off like that. Are you in agreement that it's the IC belt then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Wall, come on, dude. 2. Yeah, I saw the Manny Fresh, Scott Storch, I was gonna say beat off, but that sounds really weird.
The old beat off.
Yeah, had a pretty good beat off on live. How could it be applied to wrestling culture? I've seen like people on Complex do like sneaker battles. Maybe you see like a fucking t-shirt flex off. I don't know. Who knows? I'd like to see that. But I'd also like to see Jim versus CFO. That'd be sick as well. No, but props, Dan, because getting Tetris 99, I mean, depending on what time you're playing, it's still pretty impressive. Like at night, that's when like the real heavy hitters come out. So it does depend on when you play, but still props. Anything to add, Mike?
Yeah, I just want to add that I think Dan is in the Daniel. I don't know what he prefers to be called, but I'm pretty sure he's in he pops in the Discord. Remind me to show you. There's this rap crew that I've been following on YouTube for years now called Money by Any Means, and they're a bunch of white dudes from outside of Pittsburgh, so rural Pennsylvania, and they usually pay like semi-famous rappers like a Project Pat, if you will, or a Lil White, if you will, to do like mixtapes with them. And they do have a video with Pastor Troy, but it's like I think they just use like video footage from a existing Pastor Troy video and spliced it into their own video. And so yeah, if you see me on Discord, hit me up for that link, because their whole fucking catalog of videos is something else. And there's definitely Pastor Troy in there. Outside of that, I am very old and I hate anything on Instagram with sound, so I wanted Al to explain this to me. I didn't watch that Manny Fresh fucking Scott Storch thing. So are they just playing like their old beats and going, "Hey, I made this beat"? Because that's what I've gathered from Twitter. Yeah,
so like they'll just take turns playing their hits, and then people just chime in and chat like, "Oh shit, Manny got bodied. He played lean back. It's over." And I understand the sound quality is fucking trash. I get that, but I don't know. It's exciting to watch, I think.
This is so stupid. This is fucking dumb.
Let me get your take on this, though. It's not stupid, Mike. It's fine. Let me get your take on this.
It's shit they've already made. Like, we could do that. We could just be like, "Oh, I'm Manny Fresh, and you're Scott Storch." And we'll just, like, it's fucking, play some new shit, you fucking, like, you guys created this shit. Play some new shit.
I guess, to be fair, I think Scott Storch was playing the keys.
Yeah.
While his beats were playing, which was fine, but I don't know. I think Manny Fresh, too, he had made some pre-made promos for Scott Storch's ass for the battle, so that was pretty sweet. But let me get your take on this, though. This weekend, it's RZA versus DJ Premier. Who do you have?
Oh, that's tough. RZA has a very concentrated, untouchable amount of work. But I think DJ Premier has more over time, I would think. I don't know. It's tough. Because RZA is like that 3-year run of RZA is pretty untouchable. So I don't know.
That's tough. I mean, RZA drops Verbal Intercourse. I'm gonna lose it. But if Above the Clouds gets played, I'm gonna lose it even more. So I think I have Premiere on this one.
Next email is from Abe. It's entitled Memorabilia. Hey guys, hope you're well. Working from home has gotten me so bored. I've been lurking eBay and such for wrestling memorabilia. And while I've emptied my PayPal on some ring-worn lucha masks, I start to think I could be buying a Switch and join the Animal Crossing cult like my friends. What are your rules when spending on wrestling memorabilia? Is there any wrestling memorabilia that you have bought that you especially appreciate besides Kiss cards, or anything you're currently looking for? Thanks for the content, Abe, a.k.a. Red Equals Green. Yeah, I don't really collect wrestling memorabilia. I don't really give a shit about it. I personally just look for stuff that's cheap. Like High Spots is having a sale right now, and they have like 36% off, which is a very weird number, but they have like a couple. They have like a couple of those old Japanese sports mooks that they've just been sitting on for 20 years that I might pick up because they're like $10, so I might pick them up. So I look for cheap shit that I get cheaply, like that homeless Inoki that I got, the homeless Inoki figure I got for like $10. So that's what I basically look for is cheapness.
That's a good price, man. I still haven't gotten one. Damn, $10? Fuck.
It might have been like 14 after shipping, but yeah.
Yeah, anything under 20, it feels like a good price. What are my rules? I don't know. As long as it's cool, I'll buy it for the most part. Is there any memorabilia that I've bought that I appreciate especially? The J Cup poster 94 is pretty high up there. I also kind of finessed my way into a J Cup jacket. I think I talked about that on a previous episode. Got a bunch of stuff, man. Stuff I'm looking for currently. If I can get the New Jack 1870 in a large, and there's a Hayabusa FMW tee, it's black and he's doing the moonsault, I would quit. I'd be done with t-shirts. But other than that, I don't know. I guess it's just the journey. If I find anything cool, I'm probably going to cop. I just have that mentality. Next email is from Nick, titled Swan Song. Sup, Alan Mike. Criterion Collection episode was a week too early. Boneyard match as the Seven Samurai of wrestling. And Bray Wyatt blessed us with the 2001 A Space Odyssey for chicken nugget eaters. Good thing wrestling is canceled forever, because the art form has been perfected and now we can all die happy. Speaking of the end of wrestling, if Dana White or Tony Khan gave you guys unlimited resources and you could book your own show before they shut the shit down, but you knew going in that it would be the last show you would ever attend, what would your Black Album look like? Which arena would you want it to be in? Who are you going with? What's the concession situation? What's the main event? Which match are you falling asleep by? Etc. If I could see Nick Gage versus Mance Warner while eating some street tacos and surrounded by my friends and the fellow Vertbags in maybe the Voltage Lounge or the Basement East, RIP, then I think I could leave the MMA gloves in the middle of the ring and walk away from the ghoul life for good. Appreciate you guys. Stay safe. Nick D. AKA Handsome and Wealthy. AKA Lost 92 Turnips and Fall Back. AKA Why Did a Face Al cheat to eliminate heel Maddie in Mario Kart? Oh, come on. I'm always the face, dude. What's my favorite arena? You know what? The Chicago arena, left a really big impression on me, so I might go there. I mean, Tokyo Dome is cool and all, but I feel like it's a really big, advantage to, be able to get to the bathroom in, a minute. So that's pretty high up there. Who am I going with? Oh, come on. My dear friend Mike. A lot of the Vertbags. Maybe one new person that's never seen wrestling, Reach one, teach one. What's the concession situation? Henny and ginger ale? Oh, dude, I think we talked about it too, but I think the best wrestling food I've ever had was this Cheeto Dusted popcorn. I had that at a NXT New Orleans. And that was so fucking good. Main event. Great question. I don't know. What's my dream match? Give me Io versus Charlotte ladder match. We're gonna get it soon, I think. I can end there. That'd be fine. Which match am I falling asleep by? That card, I think, would be 2 hours long, so I'm not gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, this is more of a main segment question. We should have just saved this for the next episode, but I can't really pick a venue. It'd be too tough, but Logan Auditorium is definitely up there. Yeah. As far as the main event, I would cheat and I would go with two guys that are, they're somewhat often in America, and I just never got to see them, and it's Sasuke and Ultimo Dragon. I've still never seen them, so... I would definitely, if I had some kind of wrestling show to be the last one, it would definitely be some kind of junior Super J Cup-esque tournament, so it would make sense to have them in the main event. But yeah, the rest of that stuff is too imaginative for me, and I can't really talk about it because we'd have to do a main segment for me to take my time.
To speak on Ultimo Dragon, though, I saw him last year, and I was convinced that he was going to do the Acai Moonsault, but he didn't even tease it. So
yeah. I don't think he's doing that anymore, but I mean, I still wouldn't mind seeing him at least once. Next email is from Alex, WCW Quarantine. Hey, guys. Stemming from last week's episode where someone said that the dying years of WCW weren't so bad, I decided to watch the new Blood Rising pay-per-view since I'm working from home and get a kick out of making my life as miserable as possible. God, what an all-time classic between Muda jobbing to Ernest Miller, Judy Bagwell on a forklift, and some guy in the crowd that had a sign that just read pubes. The most horrendous thing on this show was the reminder of Mark Madden on commentary. This guy is every chubby radio host with a Hawaiian shirt and goatee combination that just screams repulsive. Sorry, guys, I'm really out of breath, man. Just...
Oh, man.
Yeah,
you okay, Mike?
I'm all gassed. I'm all gassed from this email. Combination that just screams repulsive and definitely catcalls 39 girls a day. I don't know who I would stab in the neck first, him or me, for listening to this mutt. It got me thinking, who could be the biggest nightmare broadcast colleague for you guys? In your opinion, the worst in wrestling history. Some would say Don West takes the cake, but I'd rather the guy that sounds like he's choking on a mortadella sandwich every 5 seconds than every female bartender's death warrant. That also reminds me, who would you rather have as a stepfather, AJ Styles or The Undertaker? Your friend Alex, a.k.a. Bam Bam Gigolo, a.k.a. Deuce Deuce Bigelow, a.k.a. FKA Riggs, a.k.a. That's So Raven Nevermore. First of all, I don't know who the fuck is saying Don West is the worst of all time, but that is...
Yeah, seriously.
I don't think anybody's saying that. I think fucking Alex has some kind of bone to pick with Don West because he's one of the greatest of all time. Seriously, he's amazing. He's amazing at selling baseball cards, and he was amazing at calling wrestling. So he would be in my top 5 for sure. As far as worst, man, it's tough because a lot of people that are the worst, I think, have like asterisks. Like a lot of people who suck in WWE are supposedly because they have Vince McMahon yelling in their ear. Like Michael Cole's not bad when he doesn't have somebody yelling in his ear. I don't know what the fuck happened to Mauro Ranallo, but he was fine before he got into NXT. So I'd like to think there's some other foul play. The one that pops to mind is probably Corey Graves. I think he would be awful no matter what. I don't think. I think he would be my worst because outside of that, the only people I can think of are Matt Striker and Vampiro and Lucha Underground. And they might be the worst pairing of all time, but I think like separate, they aren't as bad. So I think, gun to my head, I would either go with Vampiro or Corey Graves. Oh, and as far as Undertaker and AJ Styles, I would definitely rather have AJ Styles as my stepdad because he has video games.
Fuck, dude, those are my answers. Yeah, I think the worst pairing. I haven't heard it, but I mean Matt Striker and Mauro combined would just be too much for me personally. Also, I don't even think Undertaker has kids, right? So like, I just think at this time in 2020, he would just be like a terrible stepfather. He has no experience in raising anybody. Mm-hmm. And also, AJ Styles, have you seen his video game collection?
Yeah,
it's pretty remarkable. AJ all day long, and he's funny too, for the most part. The last question is from the Discord. It's from Stan Handsome. This Gargano Ciampa match is basically every backyard wrestling match you do with your dumb little friends when all your families were too poor to have health insurance, but your kid brain was broken by tape trading and you wanted to be Onita. So you hit each other with objects and then roll around on the floor, overselling everything by groaning super loud. Sometimes you might climb the backstop at the baseball field in the park and tease a high spot, but then would just climb down because, again, no insurance. Finally, after like 40 minutes of fucking around, because Kobashi matches are long, which makes them good, someone would get hit in the junk and that'd be the finish. So in 2000, Backyard Wrestling would Ciampa have worn Mecha and academics while Gargano was draped in kickwear. What would their entrance music have been? Man, I didn't know that the backstop climbing was a national staple. We do that too back in the day at the park. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on Ciampa, wearing the PNB and the Mecha and academics for some reason. Gargano, I don't know. Gargano is like the type of kid I think that got like That's What I Call Music compilations, like for his birthday and Christmas. So I don't think he'd wear anything cool. I can't really think of any tracks. Maybe Ciampa comes out to Ja Rule, Holla Holla maybe. Gargano, I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I'm kind of on the same wave of Gargano. I think he was too much of a nerd to ever even be into kickwear. He probably just wore like Arizona? Yeah, that was the brand.
Yeah, Arizona jeans. There's a lot of Arizona jeans company slander at these past 5 years from you, Mike. I don't know what the beef is. You don't go for Bugle Boy, you don't go for anyone else but fucking Arizona.
That's dude. That's the total nerd. This is a little dated, but I imagine Ciampa would. Actually, I don't know. Ciampa might be my age, man. He might be fucking old, but I imagine Ciampa was a fucking huge Ginzo in high school, so he probably wore whatever the equivalent of Z Cavaricci's was for people in the 2000s. But I don't know what that was. I don't know what Ginzo's wore in the 2000s, so... but I imagine he had the fucking tight black turtleneck and the horn chain. He had a real Ginzo look. But, so he would definitely come out to probably the Godfather theme or something along those lines. Some Goodfellas shit. Gargano's also a Ginzo, but I think he was too much of a nerd. So I think Al's right on point with the now that's what I call a music soundtrack.
I bet like Gargano just wore like too many puka shells, I think, in that time period. Like maybe 3 too many accessories.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was the email bag segment. If you want to participate, email us at virtualpros64@gmail.com. Also Discord. We'll answer them. We got 2-man scramble, Mike. I got some things. It's kind of assorted, but we'll see. Even though this is like a pretty heavy week for wrestling news, once this COVID shit is over, what's the first thing that you're eating, dude?
Man, I've been thinking about this for weeks, and I don't even know. I think it's going to be like... Well, there's fucking Alien in Al's house.
No, it's fine, dude. I'm here.
No, I don't know, man. I've been just thinking about it. Like, I feel like once we're released, once we're done with lockup, I'm just going to eat out like 7 times a day. Like, I'm going to have breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, 4th meal, 5th meal. Like, I don't even know. Because I can't think of one specific thing. I'm going to... I mean, I might have to go for like a burger or something just because I think a burger is something that, like, I could get it delivered to my house, but it's like once a burger's sitting for more than 10 minutes, it's kind of not as good as a burger you get as soon as it's fucking out of that kitchen. So I might have to go for a burger, like from Kuma's Corner or something first off.
Dude, I was going to say pho, but I think like once this thing is over, it's going to be summertime and it's too hot for soup. So it might be sushi. I don't know. Maybe Korean barbecue, actually. I can't have a fucking grill in my house.
See, that's the thing. I went to... Do you guys in California have Gyukaku, right? The Japanese barbecue?
There is a couple in the Bay Area, yeah.
That was my last meal before we got locked up. So, like, I'm glad that was, like, my last meal. So that thirst is quenched for a little while, but, yeah.
That's so fucking funny because my last meal was Korean barbecue too. Because I was like, this is not going to happen for a good while. So damn, truly kindred spirits, Mike and I. Next topic, episodic updates of New Horizon Pros. That's the new name for this podcast. Any good developments regarding your island?
It's fine. There's somebody some nerd posted on the internet some kind of formula to figure out your turnip stock prices. And I figured out this week we had our the bad scenario where it just keeps going down every day. So that sucked. But luckily someone in the Discord hooked it up. Nick in the Discord hooked it up with some kind of all those people, him, Ian, Divida, all those people, they're a little more, even you're a little more far advanced in New Horizons than me. I'm not on the Animal Crossing Discords, finding the codes and the kids from Japan. I'm not finding all that stuff. So he hooked it up, though, with some kind of fucking dodo code where I got to cash in all my turnips for a lot of money. But outside of that, just slowly but surely building. Got my town up to 3 stars. Looking for that 5 stars, hopefully soon. But yeah, that's about it.
First off, I have to thank you, Mike, for the pinball machine. There's a gift for you in the mail soon, I think. You've been asking for the tombstone for a while. Yeah. I did use it on my island, but it just creeps me out every time I see it on my island. So that's just going to go to you. Yeah, dude, I got to come clean. I typed in turnips in Twitter search, and I found this whole new world, Mike, of people that allow people on their islands in exchange for 2 Nook tickets or 99,000 bells. And I was in the DMs, and I was like, let me get that code. I'll even give you 3 tickets. And check this out, Mike. This guy's setup was incredible. So you can, like, fuck around on people's islands, like, if you're not prepared for, like, strangers coming along, right? This guy, he barbed wire fenced a path from the dock of the airport to the Nook shop so no one can fuck with his flowers. And I was like, That's incredible. Like that's really well thought out. I respect you, Japanese guy or girl, that let me on their island, and their sale price was like $564, and I was able to pay off a lot of shit. So thank you, dude.
Do you think you're using some kind of fucking hacker codes? How would they even know to? I don't know, man. I don't think my turnip prices are ever going to get that high.
I know, dude. The highest I've ever gotten was like 149, but like I think the highest it can go is 800. So you just have to kind of luck into it. I think like once I get to like that 5 range, I'm gonna steal this guy's sauce and like try to like get all kinds of money and shit from strangers. But other than that, I love the game. I've already put in 100 hours. It's disgusting. But I think I might take a break soon because of.
Yeah, I guess I'm not above searching on Twitter. I didn't think of that because when I was super into Pokemon Go last summer, I searched on Twitter for friend codes to get the achievements. So I guess I'm not above searching for turnips on Twitter.
No, it's totally fine. You should do it. I built like 2 bridges already. It's so sick. Let's get to wrestling though. People like that as well, I guess. Listening to virtual pros, who would figure? So episode 2 of Dark Side of the Ring, featuring New Jack played while we were on break. What'd you think of the episode? And do you have any good spaghetti cooking tips, seeing as you're a man of the Italian persuasion?
Yeah. I thought that episode was really good. I think there's been some criticism about it, and I think the criticism is from people that are, I don't want to say small-minded, but I think selfish, that think that for some reason Dark Side of the Ring on Vice is like, oh, we should appeal to the nerdiest of wrestling nerds. That's not what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to paint very broad strokes of this guy they're hoping people will tune in that have no idea who he is. So the episode is pretty much New Jack's greatest hits, and that's fine. That's fine with me. I've never seen that mass transit footage so clear before. I'm sure it's been on YouTube, but I've just never seen it before. The last segment of that, I might have heard about it and just completely forgot about it, but I fucking completely didn't have it in my brain. So seeing that footage was pretty crazy. So the people that are complaining about it, maybe they shouldn't watch like wrestling stuff that's done with like a mainstream eye, because I don't think it's for them. But yeah, I thought, obviously the Benoit episode is probably going to go down as the best episode in the history of this television show. But outside of that, I think it was, it was up there. It was definitely one of the best episodes ever.
I was super into it. Yeah, like I don't think anything was like groundbreaking, aside from Mustafa smoking pencil shavings. Like, have you heard of that anywhere else?
No.
I knew a guy in high school that baked banana peels, and he swore it got him high. But I don't believe him more than Mustafa. But other than that, like they do play all the greatest hits. The Gypsy Joe footage still makes me hold my breath. Luckily, they didn't play that fucking sound of the aluminum bat just ricocheting off that dude's head, which is haunting. But if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. I didn't keep the Brawl for All yet, but I'm not really into that topic, but maybe I'll watch it.
I saw the Brawl for All. I thought that one was really good too, just because that, like, on paper, I was like, I don't think I need to see a full episode on this, because it seems like something you could sum up in like 5 minutes, but they did a good job of like filling out a full hour of content, even though, I think we'll get into it a little more in the mixtape segment, but I think a little of it was, I wouldn't say fabricated, but like stretched out a little. And I think the main appeal of that is Vince Russo and Jim Cornette being catty about each other. And like, if you're not into those guys, you're probably not going to be into it. But I did think it was a good episode.
I'll peep it. My last topic of the night. So I think you're kind of out on the MMA UFC loop, but Dana White, he announced that he found an island to hold his human cockfights at. And so with like wrestling trending towards like these sort of on location wrestling matches, what would be a dream locale for you? Like, it could be a fantasy world if you want it to be, or it could be like a real world destination. Where would you hold it?
I mean, I've been thinking about this just because it's like, I don't know. At this point we've watched a lot of empty arena wrestling, and I don't know, a lot of it's bad to me. Like, fucking that shit that GCW did was real sketchy, and I didn't like it. There was like a baby there, and like, I don't know, man, that seemed like real trashy, and I didn't like it. I don't like how WWE's presenting it. We'll probably get to that in the main segment, but like, I think their shit's all fucked up. I think AEW is okay because I think they finally figured out like the right sound mix to make it a little less, creepy, I guess. So I've been thinking, I'm like, how would I improve this? I can't criticize it unless I know how to improve it. I think I would go, like, we watched, not, me and you, but like a bunch of people in Discord, on IWTV, they live streamed, not live streamed, but, they streamed, the newest Zona 23 that just came out. And I think, like, that would be the best setting, even if there wasn't anybody there, like some kind of junkyard or that fucking building, that kind of like parking lot venue that I think it was, I want to say Big Japan versus CZW was in, like one of those kind of like parking lot venues where there's like an overhead view of trains going by and like giant skyscrapers and shit. I kind of think that would be the best venue for some kind of like no crowd kind of wrestling.
I have 3. 1 fantasy one. I'm gonna go with E Honda's stage in Street Fighter 2. In the fucking bath. I think it'd be funny watching people slip and slide around. That'd crack me up. 2. I don't know when Nitro debuted. I want to say 95. But maybe make it like a 25th anniversary at the fucking Great Mall of America.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
Sick. 3rd, Kumite, Bloodsport. What's up? You guys should do it for real.
I mean, that's what I imagined that UFC was going to be before it got canceled. So,
that was my 4th one. I forgot. The original concept. I don't know if you can hear this, man, but the fucking choppers are out looking for some guy. I'm fucking scared. Holy shit, dude. Anyway, yeah, the original concept for UFC was they're supposed to have like a moat around the mat with alligators, right?
Yep, some bullshit like that. So
that'd be sick. That's my number 1. I'm gonna go with that one. That's my last topic.
Yeah, so I don't have anything written down. So first, I wanted to do this this last episode, and I completely fucking forgot. And it's actually more topical now, so it's probably good I forgot. But I do have a soundboard for like a few sounds. I don't have like unlimited sounds, but and I don't want to use it because I hate soundboards. I think they're stupid. But I did put this, I programmed this into the little machine just in case, I figured I could play this one just in case things get a little saucy, and it's just this one right here. So yeah, anytime, a little topic gets a little saucy, a little shit gets started to be talking around, a little shit talking, we'll just put this in the background, and everybody knows that this is it's on. This is what you really need to tune into. Okay. I just have
pretty good.
Yeah, that's the only good sound clip I have until I have Tony Schiavone saying "ooh hentai" from the new AEW show. Outside of that, I did want to just talk a little about video games. We're playing some video games. As Al said, Animal Crossing, it's a thriving community. I'm glad we aren't the only lamos playing Animal Crossing that in the Vrtbag universe, you would say, because there's a lot of other people playing it. Cam, who did the Undertaker shirt for us, I think he's gonna like beat Animal Crossing. He's gonna be the first person.
Dude, he's gonna see the credits soon for that fucking game, dude. He's gonna see fucking produced by Nintendo.
No. Hey, I've seen the credits. You get the credits when you only have 3 stars on your island. So I've already seen the credits. He's gonna like flip the game where like the game's gonna go into the negative zone. Like the sky's gonna turn black. It's fucking island. That dude is he's a collector in that game, and I really appreciate that. But outside of that, we've been having almost daily Mario Kart battles, and I've realized I'm very bad at Mario Kart, and I don't understand it. It's just because prior to this, it's not like I played Mario Kart every day or anything, but anytime I play online, it's not like I come in last place habitually, but I play against you guys, and it's just always last place. But if anybody out there is into Mario Kart and is not hip to the Twitter or Discord, we do play pretty often. So just definitely join the Discord or follow our Twitter, because I'll usually post that we're playing on there. So that's been pretty fun.
The thing is, though, you guys got to boost after you guys drift. Yeah, I never see any purple flames, and like.
See, that's the thing.
At that point, it's like not fair.
The drifting has never come natural to me, and what's really fucked me up is I'm one of the only people on Earth that still plays Mario Kart Tour for iPhone, and they make drifting really easy. So now I have like that programmed in my mind, and the timing is completely different than the one on the Switch. So it's just like switching back and forth between the two is just fucking me up even more. I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just saying it's It's definitely a little easier on Mario Kart Tour. But yeah, I can't ever do that shit. But I don't expect everybody we play with, because I don't expect everybody that's fucking signing up to play with us is a Mario Kart master. But maybe they are. Maybe I'm the only fucking loser that's not a Mario Kart master. But yeah, so join us. Outside of that, I have there's no sports out there. I know some people are wrestling fans and they don't really give a shit about real sports. And I try and pretend like I don't give a shit about real sports, but I do. I think real sports is the thing we need in our lives, and there hasn't been any. So I was very pumped to find out that real NBA players were doing an NBA 2K tournament, and they've been showing that on ESPN. And I was excited. I was literally more excited for this than Wrestlemania. Like, I was like, I cannot wait for this to drop. And it fucking sucks. Like, it's fucking so bad. It's like that guy Ronnie 2K hosts it, and I didn't know how like much of like a fucking charismaless person he is. It's like he speaks slower and less charismatic than I do. He sounds like real life Ray, like Everybody Loves Raymond, but it's so bad. And he hosts the show, and it's just like you immediately want to turn it off. And then they show so in my mind, anytime I hear an NBA player talking about 2K, they always talk about how good they are. So I'm like, they're just going to get all the best NBA guys who play NBA 2K, but they didn't. I don't know how they picked this, but they just got some guys, and it's pretty awkward to watch. Like, it's just like the first one is just like Kevin Durant and was it Eddie Jones Jr.? What's that guy's name? Reggie Jones? The guy from the Heat. Yeah. Airplane mode.
God, I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
Derek Jones Jr.?
Derek Jones Jr. Yeah. So it's them, their first match, and it's just like, they're obviously at their houses, and they're just talking. They're just like, so what's up? It's just like when you talk to some guy that you sort of know, but yeah. It's just like, oh, this sucks. And like, I was texting with my friend Dave, and he was like, man, I can beat both these guys in fucking 2K. And I was like, no, you can't. And then I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I was like, man, I think anybody can beat both these guys in 2K. And and I like, they just don't play defense. Like, it's all just like being on offense and just chucking threes. As soon as they get the ball, just chuck the three, and it's fucking shitty. And I was like, okay, that's the first match, like whatever. And next one is Zach LaVine versus, was it DeAndre Ayton? I can't even remember who he played, but Zach LaVine's like literally asking what the controls are, and I'm just like, fuck this, man. Like, they couldn't even get dudes. Like, I remember like hearing Isaiah Thomas on a podcast last year just talking about how fucking good he is and how much he plays. Like, they couldn't get Isaiah Thomas in there to play, and so basically that was a big letdown. I was really bummed. It was like the shittiest presentation, and then the day after, before the 2K came on, that I was still like trying to give it a chance, they showed the Rocket League championships on ESPN, and that was like, these commentators sounded like they were about to die for Rocket League. They were so fucking pumped, and like fucking there was like crowd noise, and it was just amazing. And I was just like, this is the presentation that NBA needs, and it inspired me. And so now I'm training to be, I'm going to be a professional Rocket League guy. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quit the podcast. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to become a professional Rocket League guy. I'm not there yet. I can't even beat the computer, because I don't think I have the thing in my brain that could make me good at Rocket League. I think I'm too old. But so if you guys are Rocket League players and you want to play with me sometime, let me know, because I'm in training right now, because I want to be a Rocket League player.
Let's play, Mike.
Yeah.
I put maybe a couple 100 hours into Rocket League. With that said, I still can't fly very well.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for you to be pro. That'd be great.
That's the same time that I was texting with Dave again. He was like, I watched you play Rocket League. I've never seen you do stuff in the air like that. And I was like, yeah, dude, because I can't. Like, I didn't even know people could do that.
I think you would really like the Street Fighter tournaments. Honestly, it's pretty easy to follow for the most part.
I mean, I've watched that before.
You understand how hard it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how esports isn't. I guess NASCAR is really hitting out of the park, because I guess NASCAR is something you could simulate with real drivers playing these kind of simulation video games. And I kind of like, I just thought NBA was going to be like that, but it is not. It's nothing like that. So, but yeah, I don't know why all these channels that need to fill up sports aren't just pivoting to esports, because I don't know. It's exciting. I mean, I guess it's not exciting for everybody to watch, but I don't know. I think it's pretty good. outside of that, I wanted to talk about some wrestling that we aren't going to be talking about in the main segment or the mixtape. The first thing, besides the, of course, Wrestlemania and NXT, but I'll talk about NXT too, is the other talk of the town was it All Japan or Noah? One of those wrestlings had a no-ring match with Go Shiozaki and Fujita. And the whole deal was, I didn't watch this live, of course, but the whole deal was people are like, you got to watch this match. They don't even do anything for the first half hour. They just stare at each other for the first half an hour. It's so amazing. And it's just like people saying this, and it's like, that doesn't sound amazing. That sounds horrible. Like, why are you saying this sounds amazing? And it's just like, so many people saying this, it's the best thing. It's so amazing. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't think it sounds that great. So I watched it. Spoiler alert, it's not amazing. It sucks. It's fucking horrible. It's fucking sucks dicks. We'll talk about the main segment, but if like Edge Orton didn't happen, this would have been the worst fucking match I watched in the past 2 weeks. It sucks so many dicks. It's like, I get it, man. Like I was young once and I got like, I remember seeing Clerks before anybody else I knew saw it and just being like, guys, you gotta see this movie Clerks. It's fucking amazing. That's what this match is like. Once you know the punchline, once you know that these guys just stare at each other for half an hour, it's no longer funny. It's fucking horrible to watch. Like even fast forwarding, it sucks. And even in my mind, I made myself think it was going to be better than it was because I was like, oh, maybe they'll stare at each other, but they're like moving around, like getting like real pumped. And they don't even do that. They literally just sit still and stare at each other. And then after like 20 or 25 minutes, they have a normal match. And it's pretty funny because like as soon as they finally like get into a normal match, Fujita puts that dude in like a fucking headlock for 5 minutes. And that's pretty funny. I'll give him that. It's pretty funny for like to not do anything for 20 minutes and then you immediately go into a 5-minute headlock. That's hilarious. Outside of that, the only thing that's like really good about this match is that this is the first kind of like no ring Japanese thing I've watched since the lockdown. And it's just amazing how clean Karakin Hall is for like a venue that has fucking like 39 independent wrestling promotions using it every week for like the past 30 years. It is just like spotless still. So it's pretty cool seeing that and kind of that kind of, because they brawl all around the whole entire venue, so you see everything. So in that aspect it's cool, but don't listen to peer pressure and people telling you that this is fucking amazing, because it's not. If you're an old person like me, you've probably seen cooler stuff in your lifetime. This is just fucking bullshit. It's, again, all these cinematic matches that happen this week, it's just for people who never really watch movies. I don't think like this is their only entertainment. Did you watch this match though, Al?
I have no motivation to watch this at all, dude. Like, I don't treat wrestling like a fucking Xbox achievement, dude. Like, it's not impressive to me that you sat through 35 minutes of staring.
Yeah.
Like, I have a disapproving Asian dad. Like, I've gotten those stares all my life, so this is not new to me at all. I don't give a fuck about that shit. So, I mean, like, I did read that Fujita drank hand sanitizer. That's super funny. He thought it was water, maybe? I don't know. That sounds good to me, but other than that, like, I have all this time on my hands, but I'm certainly not going to watch two people staring at each other and think that it's like so artful. There's no fucking way.
Yeah. It's not good. It's definitely not the best thing. It's not even the fucking greatest thing I've seen that day, probably. But outside of that, the other cinematic match is, of course, the final beat versus, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa on NXT that happened yesterday. I watched AEW live and I watched this morning, and oh man, this was like, so they filmed it in like a way that, you know, it's I guess you would consider cinematic, and I don't even know how to explain it. It kind of looks like, I feel like Impact and Lucha Underground did this type of filming like years ago. There's no commentary. It's just these two dudes fighting for like a half an hour, grunting, talking about each other's wives and being emotional. And it was like it's probably the cringiest wrestling match I think I've ever seen. It was just like, it was really bad. I think general consensus on the internet is most people weren't into this. I think they kind of like already ruined the cinematic shit they were doing. But, there's like a part where Gargano like puts his hand emotionally on Ciampa's hand. And it's like what my cat does to me sometimes. Like, and, you know, when I'm like sitting on the couch, he'll put his paw on my hand, and I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'll pull it off just like Ciampa did. It's kind of the same thing. and like the ending is like they hit each other in the ball. I don't know, man. This is real bad. If you enjoyed this match, I don't think you should watch wrestling anymore. I think you should be banned from watching wrestling. I'm usually very, very into like everything's objective. If you like, even fucking people like people hate on Joey Wright, and I'm like, that's fine. He has his audience. I don't personally like that dick stuff, but I get it. This, I don't. I think if you like this, you should find a different form of entertainment, because this is really bad. This is the worst thing I've probably seen. I can't even say that because Edge Orton was worse, but we'll get to that. But just as a note, just skip this. I really think, guys, there's so much footage out there. There's so much old archival footage we could be watching. We don't need to watch this shit anymore. Just please refrain from making new wrestling with no crowds, because it sucks. Al, did you watch this though?
No, dude. Just like the Fujita Shiozaki thing. I heard this was an hour.
Yeah,
I don't even like watching those guys wrestle for 20 minutes these days. Like,
but didn't you watch the ladder match live? Did you just shut it off after that?
I was like, oh, Io Shirai won. We're good. I just went to play Animal Crossing. That's all I needed to see. That's totally fine.
Lastly, I'll just say I watched. I think we talked about it last episode. Al mentioned that the WWE Network had that WCW up all night, and so I subscribed to watch Wrestlemania, and I watched that. It was totally worth the subscription. I've only made it about 2 hours through, but if you guys are into that Bobby Heenan, Tony Schiavone shit, it's fucking super great. I'm glad I watched it. I'll probably watch the rest tomorrow, but yeah, it's 5 stars all the way for me. That's it. I'm
telling you, dude, you gotta listen to fucking Conrad. Listen to Conrad and Tony Schiavone talk that shit. It's so funny.
I'm probably never gonna get to that point in my life. It's never gonna happen for me. But yeah, that's it.
TSJ, if you're listening, tell your friend Mike to listen to that shit. He knows, it's good. Anyway, main segment. Today's topic: the WrestleMania 36 review. No merch bets on the line this year, sadly. Just hard-hitting opinions from your 2 favorite shooters. Please stay tuned. And we're back with Virtual Pros, episode 108. Today's topic is WrestleMania 36. So we're going to do this like we do Wrestle Kingdom, where we go by match. We'll give our little blurbs. We won't go too long, I think. But I wanted to start off this segment with a couple questions. My first one, did you whip up anything cool to eat, or did you get anything like delivered to your house to watch this shit?
I guess I'll start this by saying, I know people, not everybody, that listens to the show is, blessed, #blessed to live in a major city like me and Al, live in cities. I know a lot of you live in podunk areas of the country, or, you don't live in the country. You live somewhere else, but, so I don't know how seriously everybody's taking the stay-at-home shit. I'm taking it very seriously. Like, I'm shaming people. I am fucking yelling at people. Like, this is very serious to me. This is a very serious thing for me. I live in a major city. Like, it's like, if it gets bad here, we're fucked. Like, it's happening in New York, not to get too heavy, but, it's pretty bad in New York, and I don't live there anymore, but, I would be even worse if I lived in New York. So anytime I see somebody, like, just, brazenly, like, oh yeah, I went to fucking Burger King. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit. You're an actual piece of shit. You're a piece of trashy garbage. So, like, I'm taking this very seriously. So what I'm getting to is that, I take, like, grocery shopping very seriously. I take delivery very seriously. Like, there's a couple times we splurged and got delivery just to, like, support local businesses. But for this WrestleMania, like the few days before WrestleMania, we went grocery shopping, and I was just trying to get out there as quick as possible. And I was in the frozen food section, and I saw frozen deep dish pizza, and I was like, fuck. I was like, oh man, I didn't even like, because, you know, outside of that, a lot of frozen foods just wiped out. So I'm just like, holy shit, they just have like frozen deep dish pizza right there. I didn't even look. I grabbed 2 of them. I was like, I'm set. I'm going to be fucking eating this during WrestleMania. I was pumped. You know, I put it in like a half an hour before WrestleMania, and I'm just like, man, I never really heard of this brand before. I should probably like actually read the box. And I look at it, and I see like there's like a long paragraph on the back, and I see like celiac disease in like one of those like listed in the paragraph. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I look, it's like gluten-free pizza, and I'm just like, motherfucker, this is why this pizza was there. This is why there's no other pizza. So I was like, fuck, man. And so I whipped up some gluten-free deep dish pizza. It wasn't as bad as I was expecting, but it wasn't great. It was better than like the cheapest frozen pizza. Luckily, we had DiGiorno's too, so that was good. The second day, though, my girlfriend whipped up some like actual good nachos, so that was good. But that first day was pretty disappointing.
I had the idea to make some seafood to be thematic with the pirate theme, but I just got too lazy.
Yeah.
So I got pizza delivered. But, you know, since you and I live in the real world, we all live in the real world. Let's talk about shopping at the supermarkets. Are you wearing a mask and gloves? Because for me, I just got done grocery shopping, and that has to be like, I'm already kind of used to it now, but like, that has to be one of the most depressing things to suit up for. To go buy some fucking kettle chips is putting on a medical mask and putting on those latex gloves to handle orange juice. Like, are you pretty thorough like that? Or
yeah, dude. So the thing is, like, I discussed this on one of the episodes of Border Boss, but Border Boss is like up in the air, so I don't know if it's out or fucking it was one of the ones that got canceled. But basically, if this virus wasn't like something where they were like, oh, you could die. Like if they were just like, yo, if you catch this, you're going to be really sick, I would still wear a mask and gloves. I fucking hate being sick. Like it's outside of washing dishes and vomiting, like being sick. It's like the third worst thing in my life. So if they were like, yo, you should go out with a mask and gloves all the time so you don't get sick.
Yeah.
I'd be fine. I'd be cool with it. It bothers me because we went out and it was just like there was a ton of people not in mask and gloves. A dude who jogged to the fucking supermarket all full of sweat, just grabbing a cart, just going through those aisles. And I'm right behind him. I'm just like, oh, this is fucking great. Like I prepared for this. I don't know if they have this rule where you're grocery shopping, but you can't use reusable bags now. And it's just like, I don't really understand that. Like I'm as cautious as you can be. And even to me, I'm just like, maybe reusable bags is better than having other people touch my shit. But outside of that, yeah, I am 100% down. I went to 7-Eleven yesterday, which is literally across the street from my house, and I still suited up for that. I'm in completely, like, not even short sleeve shirts, just going out completely covered.
Yeah, at least in California, you can bring in a reusable bag, but they won't let you sit it down on the checkout stand, and they won't bag it for you. You got to do it yourself. To get even kind of more gloomy about it, I see the looks that other people are giving me because I'm Asian. It's not fucking cool, guys. So don't fucking do that to me. It's fucked up. My number 2. So going into the show, like, what were your feelings going in? Like, were you thinking like it would like fall below expectations? Do you think it would have met your expectations, or like did it exceed your expectations after watching it?
I had 0 expectations going in for everything except for the Undertaker match and the John Cena match. Everything else, I was like, I'm gonna fucking hate it. There were some things like the second night with Daniel Bryan and Sami Zayn. I'm like, this is probably the only chance these dudes would get to have like a pure wrestling match, and even that was below my expectations. I really just think that the way that WWE film stuff is not attributed to not having a crowd there, so. Even though I had very low expectations, I still think it kind of sucked. Like outside of my very low expectations.
I gotta say, it kind of exceeded my expectations. I thought it would be kind of horrible, and I don't think it was like an all-time great WrestleMania. But it was certainly better than 2. I would say 9 and 11 at the very least.
I don't think you can count that old shit though. I mean, that's just like different.
Why not?
Wrestling.
It's a WrestleMania, man.
But it's still different wrestling though. I went back. Another thing I watched this week was WrestleMania 20 with Benoit, which is before a rewatch, I was like, this is one of my favorite WrestleManias. Even watching that, I'm just like, this kind of fucking sucks, man. Like, outside of the 2 or 3 big matches, everything else on that show fucking sucks. So I think WrestleMania is kind of like a product of its time. And after watching that, I don't expect I expect WrestleMania to be good for 1 to 5 years after. Now anything after that is amazing, but so if it's definitely better than 2. It's definitely better than one that was headlined by LT and Bam Bam Bigelow, which I think was 9 or 11 or something like that.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah, but I mean, compared to obviously modern WrestleManias, it was the worst one.
I don't know. That Miz Cena one was kind of bad. I'm pretty sure
it was bad.
I had a third one, but I think we talked about it regarding although the WWE is well positioned to kill it with all the resources, they're going to play out the cinematic wrestling, right? They're going to. I think they already did on Wednesday. Honestly, it's over.
I was expecting everything to be like that though, so I kind of think they've been subdued, but I think if they pay attention to how good reviews the Undertaker match was, maybe next Raws. I mean, I don't know how many Raws they already have in the can, so maybe next filming they do is just going to be all cinematic bullshit. I don't know.
All right, so let's go down the card. The first match of the first night was Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Kabuki Warriors. I thought this was good. I'm shocked that it says it was 15 minutes long. Kind of felt like it was 21. I dug Kyrie's blue outfit. But other than that, I thought it was actually a pretty decent match. What did you think?
Yeah, I think it was fine. I don't watch enough WWE anymore to understand if it makes sense for the Kabuki Warriors to lose the title, but they seem to be the only women's tag team that's at an actual tag team. So I don't know, but yeah, I thought it was fine for an opener.
Nikki Cross's new taunt too. I'm into it.
Oh yeah, I'm cracking them out, cracking those, you know what I'm talking about, guys. Fellas, you know what I'm talking about. She's cracking them out.
They play that New Jack drop real quick. I'm just kidding. Don't do it yet. That's the exact sound that came to my head when Nikki Cross did that. Next match was Elias versus King Corbin. Who cares about this? But I wanted to ask, have you seen King Corbin cook food on the internet? He seasons his food pretty well. And I was impressed.
I heard about this. I feel like King Corbin's one of those guys where it's he's going to be retro-conned, where it's a retcon, where it's oh, he was actually a good wrestler. And that's not true. He fucking sucks. This guy sucks. I hate this guy.
Next match was Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. Didn't do it for me. What do you think?
I thought the match was fine, but I don't even fucking understand the point of this match for having Shayna Baszler lose. I mean, I know they gave her that kind of fuck finish where it's she lost, but she didn't look like she got her ass whooped, but still it was a loss. So, I don't know how many plans they changed once they found out that WrestleMania is going to have no crowd, but this is one of the things where if Becky was always going to win this, it would have probably made a lot more sense in front of a crowd, but without a crowd, it just makes Shayna Baszler look like a real wimp, and, they should have changed that finish if that was the case.
Yeah, they love that Bret Owen WrestleMania 10 finish, that little fucking backwards roll up to keep the heels strong, which is fine. I respect it. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan. I thought it was really good. A lot of heavy breathing, and they were beating the fuck out of each other. So
that was really the first night. I thought that was the second night. Fuck.
Yeah.
That match I thought I was like, okay, here we go. This is the match. And I think they had enough people around the ring where they had that AEW effect where it didn't seem that it was completely creepy. But it's just that WWE camera work that kills it for me, where they have to shake the camera and fucking quick cut every 2 seconds. And it's really hard to pay attention to a actual wrestling match where people are trying to do wrestling, and kind of sucks when they're, doing those quick cuts and shit like that. So I don't know, man. That's just one of those things where I'm just I don't know how you can't pick up on this and maybe film differently if there's no crowd, and maybe film it in a way to, accommodate that. And it just seems like they have no interest in that.
The next match was John Morrison and Jimmy Uso and Kofi Kingston in a ladder match. Oh, they were going for it, dude. That rope walk by John Morrison was incredible. No hands from one post to the other. Definitely a moment for me, so I like this. Did you like it? Even though, I mean, given your affinity for ladder matches, like, did it meet your expectations at all?
No, I was really bummed out. This was like the one thing where I was like, you can't make a ladder match bad, but you really do need the crowd for a ladder match. And there was a lot of people online that were like, I don't know how they did this with no crowd because you need that adrenaline. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, you totally need that adrenaline and you need the crowd reaction. And I don't know, it just, I was very, very depressed. I wanted to turn the whole fucking thing off. Luckily, we'll get into, I did turn the whole thing off for a few matches. So, but yeah, this was just like really depressing to me because I do love ladder matches. And I'm just like, man, I don't know, man. You really need a crowd. You need a crowd. I think I can watch basketball without a crowd. I think I can watch football without a crowd, but I think wrestling, you definitely need a crowd.
The next match was Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins. I kind of tuned out for this until the end where Kevin Owens dropped a fucking bomb from the Wrestlemania sign. I remember some people trying to truther this. A friend of the show, Brady, was like, they did that thing in 2 cuts. You jump from a lower thing. But then they did a single shot of it and, it was pretty insane. But other than that, like, I wasn't into it. What'd you think? Yeah,
so I did not see this match. I, already scheduled a virtual beer tasting with my girlfriend. So we, there's the same place I mentioned before, the Beer Temple, which is also, they show the AEW pay-per-views and they also have a store. And since, it's hard times, they have been delivering beer to people and it's a fancy beer store. And they've been doing these weekly virtual tastings where you could buy like this 5 or 6 pack of beer for $20. And they'll like on Facebook Live, they do like this tasting. And I have never done such a thing because I am not that white, but I was like, oh, what the fuck else are we going to do? Like this, we're fucking stuck inside. And it's like an easy, cheap way to get drunk. And it feels like we're sort of at a bar in a way. So we did it. And in my mind, I was like, this will be over in 3 minutes. Like, we're just going to fucking chug all these beers. And that's how beer tastings work. But it turns out that is not how beer tastings work. It turns out some fucking nerd talks to you about beers for like an hour and it sucked. But, so yeah, I missed this match. I did not go back and rewatch this. I did rewatch the next couple matches though. But yeah, I had no interest in watching this. So even though I heard it was good though, so maybe I should go rewatch it, but probably not.
Strowman Goldberg, who cares? That shit sucked. I'm assuming you thought the same.
I don't know. I mean, it sucked, but it was just like, it was kind of weird. It was, I don't know, man. I don't know how they can pay that dude money and just think it's worth it. It's just so stupid. I feel like as soon as there's a crowd, I feel like Braun Strowman is not going to defend the belt until there's a crowd and he's going to immediately lose it as soon as there's a crowd. So it's just going to be one of those things that no one remembers in history. And it's just going to be like an asterisk and no one's going to care.
The main event for the first night was Undertaker versus AJ Styles in a Bone Zone match. I think this was universally liked for the most part. I was really into it. Going into it, there was a lot of calling Undertaker Mark in the promos, and I was like, I think he's going to be fucking Biker Taker. And sure enough, it happened. For the most part, this just kind of reminded me of like a Walker Texas Ranger fight, but like it was filmed really well. The production was like, top notch for the most part. Like given the fact that they probably had like a couple weeks to do this, maybe even less. This made me crack up at the end. If they did play Limp Bizkit Rollin', I would have freaked out and gave this the first 9-star match. 5 sirens in Virtual Pros history. But I was entertained, pretty thoroughly. Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Later on, the next day, I posted a picture of The Undertaker on Twitter wearing a Blue Lives Matter shirt and saying, this is why this guy fucking sucks. And, of course, this somehow drew attention to a bunch of racists that are like, what, you don't support police? And it's like, fucking no shit, I don't support police. Police are fucking horrible. Like this is a very black and white issue for me. We never get political on the show, but if you like cops or Trump or anything like this, I literally want you to die. Like, I want you to die as soon as possible. So it's something I didn't argue with. But luckily, a longtime enemy, but now ally, Bix he has all day to fucking bitch and moan with people with like 9 followers. So he just did that all day. So shout out to Bix for just supporting the scene and just doing that. But anyways, I hate The Undertaker, and I still thought, like, as a person, I want him to die immediately. But like, I think this was perfect. Like, I can't believe they didn't come up with this shit like 5 years ago, honestly. I I think The Undertaker could, Brian Alvarez says the same thing. I think he could live on and on into like a 75-year-old man doing these fucking Bone Zone matches, man. It's like fucking Charles Bronson. Charles Bronson was still doing Death Wish when he was like 900 years old. They could do the same thing with Undertaker. I didn't think it was like as mind-blowing as some people thought it was, because I've watched Lucha Underground and I've watched like a lot of weird shit in my time. But but like as far as WWE goes, this was great. I thought my favorite part is AJ Styles saying like, "You made me break my finger." Like it was just like it was fucking really good. Like they're talking about his wife and shit like that. For WWE shit, I thought this was super good. I hope if they do, even with crowds, like the next WrestleManias, make fucking Undertaker the King of the Bone Zone and just have him like the next 2 years of WrestleManias, have him beat other people in Bone Zone matches. In the last year when he's really like pushing 60, they just have somebody else become the King of the Bone Zone. I think as long as they keep these matches like once a year, they have the staying power. And yeah, this was really, really good and a really good way to end this otherwise, for me, kind of depressing WrestleMania.
Oracle Henny here. I'm going to predict something. They're going to keep going with this, but I think by like year 6, there's going to be gunplay. You going to take me up on this bet? I think he's going to do it.
I mean, maybe. Yeah. There was somebody that said when I forgot who was on Twitter, but somebody said when he gave the Undertaker the finger or vice versa, they thought he pulled out a gun right there. So very easily that could be 2023 Bone Zone match is somebody pulling a gun out.
It's going to happen, dude. Yeah. Sting versus Taker, dude. It's gonna look like the fucking killer. The end of it's going to be sick. Part 2, fair warning. I was on my phone a lot. This was really boring to me. So this might go by fast. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. I was shocked. But if all goes right, Io Shirai is taking that title. What do you think?
I thought this is, spoiler alert, besides the John Cena Bray Wyatt match, this was the match of the night. They got like plenty of time. This was a pretty good match. I don't agree with the finish, but obviously they're going to have Charlotte Flair win the NXT title so she can, be the ratings draw, because they still care about shit like that while people are dying all over the place. But they still care about ratings. So obviously they're going to have Charlotte Flair win, make Rhea Ripley look like a cuck, and now supposedly she's stuck in Australia anyway. So, but I mean, honestly, as wrestling wise, this was a very, very good match. And probably the only match I paid attention to.
That was pretty sweet. She was dressed like Vegeta. I was into it. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. Who cares? I want to talk about that one.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I don't even know why these dudes were fighting each other. I did say on Twitter, Bobby Lashley's wearing pants, and I think it's just because he was scared of the corona and he wanted to cover up as much of his body as possible. And I respect that, because I'm scared too, Bobby. So I'm in your corner.
Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. I love me some Otis, dude, so this was funny to me.
Yeah.
I love that fucking stop and shake thing he does with his limbs. Oh, it makes me laugh.
I didn't know. I mean, this was like a Twitter talking point, but I didn't know that Dolph Ziggler being in fucking WWE for 15 years, and this is his first singles match, WrestleMania match. But to be fair, people are saying that, but I think he was in like Money in the Bank matches, and those are a little cooler than singles matches anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. But obviously he was going to lose because he's like the ultimate WWE cuck. But yeah, I thought that match was amusing for what it was.
I was dying. I think it was Dave. He was talking about how Otis may have just like asked like a best friend writer to be like, listen, I'm kind of feeling Mandy right now. Just fucking write me in that storyline. It could happen. I mean, history dictates it in wrestling. It's a pretty smart move, dude. Next up was Edge versus Randy Orton. Dude, as an Edge head, this was fucking depressing, dude. He was retired for like 8 or 9 years, and this is how he comes back. This was bad. I hated it. What'd you think?
Yeah, man, this was, I mean, Dave Meltzer is like a guy who doesn't like real time hate on shit, but he was even hating on the shit. I would say like 10 to 15 minutes into this, I was like, oh boy, like this is really bad. I know like they're in the performance center. There's only so many rooms they could drag each other into. And I'm just like, this is really fucking bad, but, there is no fucking way this is going to have some crazy ending. Like, I thought like maybe like Edge would throw Orton in a dumpster and light it on fire or something, because they have the privilege of editing. So I was just like, something wild is gonna happen, like somebody's gonna fucking explode or something like that. So I was like, I'll deal with it. And like 15 minutes passed, 20 minutes passed, 25 minutes passed. all the way up to almost 40 minutes, and they just end it by like a chair shot on a fucking top of a truck. And I was just like, wow, man. Like, I don't know how anybody could have. Dave Meltzer kind of said that they probably even cut this down to what it originally was. They probably already edited it, but I don't even know how you could watch 35 minutes of this and just be like, yeah, this is great. We're gonna run this, because it was, I don't know, man. This was real bad. This is one of the worst matches I think I've ever seen in my life, just because it was so long and they didn't really do much. It was just like it was like all the bad parts of mid-90s Japanese death matches without any of the good parts. And it just fucking sucked. Randy Orton, man, I don't know. That dude is cursed. Anytime he is in a specialty match, it's gonna suck. And I don't know how, but he just has a curse on him. But yeah, this was the biggest disappointment of WrestleMania for sure.
Speaking of editing, there was some weight play in the NXT gym, and I don't know, you might have had a chance to edit that out, and you didn't.
It was topical. It's topical.
Yeah, I guess so. Sick world, dude. Cold world. Street Profits versus Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Austin Theory's like all over my fucking TV all of a sudden. What the fuck, man? Tino Sabatelli's healthy now. Put that guy on. He's so funny. The biggest takeaway for me, though, is that Bianca Belair got called up, and that's sweet.
Yeah, I tuned out for this match. I don't like the Street Profits. I don't know. I guess Vince saw Austin Theory, saw a picture of him, and I was like, that's my guy or something. But to run WrestleMania for 2 nights and not like trim the fat is just ridiculous. So I definitely didn't even pay attention to this.
Fatal 5-way women's match. Did not care. How about you?
I might have not even watched this. I don't even remember it. Yeah.
Bailey shit talk was funny at the end, though. I like that as well. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt versus John Cena in the Firefly Funhouse match. I was shocked. I was shocked at how challenging this was. That the WWE would actually dare to go to those levels, to be that challenging. And at the end of it, I didn't know what to think. I thought it was incredible for a WWE production. I watched it twice. I thought it was that good. So that's why I kind of think I hold this WrestleMania not in high regard, but I didn't think it was like a total bust.
Yeah, this was, I said on the last episode, this is what I was most looking forward to. You have this weird cinematic idea, and John Cena's I would assume has carte blanche to do anything, because he's their biggest star. He's an actual movie star now. He's an actual actor. And according to Dave Meltzer, he said he said somebody in fucking Bruce Pritchard, I think they all like put this match together, and then John Cena changed everything for the better, according to Dave Meltzer. I don't know if that's true, but he said John Cena like changed a lot of it for the better. And I think it's the boldest thing WWE's ever done in the history of their company. Before that, I would probably say that pipe bomb thing is that, gets all the accolades, but this is like incredibly bold, because it is beyond their usual average IQ of their fan. I think it is. It's pretty hard to understand. And it kind of had the effect that I thought it would, where I think a lot of their average fans that saw it are they're astounded by it. Their mind is blown, because like the probably most challenging thing they saw before this was probably Fight Club like 20 years ago. And then there's going to be their people who can't grasp this, because the most challenging thing they've watched is Harry Potter. So it's just kind of like, it kind of did exactly what I thought it would do. And it's pretty sweet. Even it's sweet beyond the fact that like Sam Roberts was tweeting that he was going to do like a frame by frame breakdown of this. And it's like, we don't need this, man. We're like, I understand you don't think too highly of your fans, but I don't know. I know a lot of people who are into WWE and wrestling in general don't watch a lot of entertainment. I don't need a fucking frame by frame breakdown of this. I can understand it easily. It's telling the story of John Cena, like just kind of basically having a breakdown and realizing he's an old broken down piece of meat. And I don't need Sam Roberts explaining this to me. It was an amazing piece of cinema. 7 bones all day, like I gave to it on Twitter. This is amazing thing. It was worth slogging through WrestleMania for 17 hours for. I really hope they never do anything like this again, and it just stays this unique one of a kind thing. But yeah, for anybody who skipped out on WrestleMania, this is definitely worth watching.
Last match of the night, Drew McIntyre and Brock Lesnar. I feel bad for Drew, dude. I saw some of the documentary. He's worked so hard, only to have this moment kind of tainted by him winning in front of nobody. But this was fine. I mean, Brock was on his shit. I liked it. What'd you think?
I thought it was pretty decent. It was a finisher versus finisher match where they all did finishers. I did not think up until the pin that Drew was actually winning. Mostly because they've told this like subtle story for the past, I don't even know, 4 years at this point, that Brock can only lose to not Goldberg if he gets hit in the balls. So I was like, Drew's not going for these balls at all during this match. He's definitely not winning. And he totally beat Brock without hitting him in the balls once, which makes him the most powerful man in WWE now. Like Al said, like, it's kind of a weird moment for him to win because there's no crowd. But I don't know. I do have a feeling he might get Finn Balor, and as soon as there is a crowd, he might lose the title immediately. But I hope not. Like, I think it was cool for Brock to give him that much because, I mean, I keep referencing Twitter, but I mentioned on Twitter, like, is Brock even going to go long enough to turn purple? And he didn't. It didn't go that long, but he turned red. And I thought if Brock was losing this, he would have fucking laid down in like 10 seconds. So he still gave him a lot. It was a good match for what it was. Hopefully they actually keep it on Drew and he gets to like have a run with it. Yeah,
and they made him wrestle the Big Show, and then he beat him. So I think they're really serious about Drew McIntyre fucking being their champion.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that and didn't read about it. So I was hoping that maybe Big Show was actually the champion now. He needs to promote that Big Show, man.
Oh my goodness. With the fucking lanyard vape around his neck and the title. That'd have been a good ending to WrestleMania. Anyway, that was our WrestleMania 36 recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Next up, that world famous mixtape segment with Manami Toyota, Wes Barkley, Do Fixer, and Butterbean. Please stay tuned. Virtual Pros, episode 108. To finish off the episode, it's that world famous mixtape segment. If you're a new listener, you can find this mixtape on Virtual Pros. Type in Virtual Pros mixtape. It'll pop right up. First match of the night is Butterbean versus Bart Gunn. WrestleMania 15, 3/28/1999. So did you ever play the Tough Man boxing video game when it dropped?
I sure did. I did.
What were your impressions of it?
Was this for PlayStation?
I played it on Genesis.
Genesis. That's okay. Okay, then it was Genesis. There wasn't anybody else in it besides Butterbean, right? He was the only star.
Yeah, I think it was just like made up guys. Yeah.
This wasn't a good game. It wasn't. I don't think it was that good. I mean, boxing games didn't really get good until fucking Fight Night, and before that, I think the best boxing game ever made was Ring King for NES. So, I mean, outside of Punch Out, but that's more arcadey. But yeah. So this was just another drop in the bucket of shitty boxing games.
Yeah, the cover art is so fucking funny. If you have Google up right now, look that up. Look at Butterbean just standing in the ring, looking real weird. But yeah, I mean, I like the concept of like someone making a love letter to Punch Out, but it wasn't very good. Even though there was like cool locale, I think in the game, like I think the first level was like fighting at some sort of ski lodge, which is interesting, but you know, it's just me. Vinny Pazienza, aka the Panamanian Devil, he's the referee in this match, and that's a name I haven't heard since like 1992, so that was nice to fucking see. I don't know if they discussed this in the Brawl for All because I haven't watched it, but Bart Gunn, like, on a technique level, like, he went about this fight all wrong. Like, as I recall, like, in the Brawl for Alls, you can get takedowns and get points. So, like, why didn't he do that instead of like trying to square up with like this 3-round wonder? That's crazy to me. But anyway, if you've never seen this, it's like 2 minutes long, and it has like one of the cleanest knockout finishes you've ever seen. I'm shocked that this did not end in a seizure. But maybe next episode I'll put Mike Barton, aka Bart Gunn, on the mixtape just to see what that All Japan run was about. Recommended. What'd you think?
Yeah, after this was put up, I was like, I should have put an All Japan Mike Barton match, but it's too late. As Al said, mentioned Vinny Paz, a notable boxer back in the early 90s, late 80s. They also mention in this that the judges are Gorilla Monsoon, of course, Chuck Wepner, who, if you guys aren't boxing historians, he was the guy who almost beat Muhammad Ali, a white man who almost beat Muhammad Ali. They kind of say he was like the real time Rocky, but there was actual real life Rocky they based that movie on. That wasn't Chuck Wepner. But anyways, so they had him and Kevin Rooney, who was also like this, fucking amazing boxing trainer. And I find it insane that they brought in Vinny Paz, Chuck Wepner, Kevin Rooney for this not fake, but this boxing match that they knew was going to end quick. And this is a company to this day that will still put like a sheet on a wall and say it's a restaurant. And they just fucking put in all these boxing people that no one gives a shit about to make this seem like more of like a legit contest. And it's just wild that they show that attention to detail to this bullshit, but they can't fucking film in a real restaurant to this day. Speaking of which, if you watch the Brawl for All episode, which Al didn't, there's two interesting things. The first thing is that Bart Gunn says he did. Once he found out he was going to get this match, he started training in actual boxing because he wasn't like trained in boxing. It was just like a brawler. And that's kind of what his downfall was he tried to be an actual boxer. And that was like an interesting thing I didn't know. But the other thing is that they kind of don't really ever mention in the Brawl for All that Butterbean was kind of like a sideshow. Like they just say he was like, experienced boxer. But the thing was, like, even back then, Butterbean was, I don't want to say he's a joke because he obviously fucking knocked the shit out of people, but even as, like, I followed boxing when I was a kid, and even then I was like, he's kind of a joke because he could only fight 3-4 round matches. He can't fight anything longer than that because you get too gassed. He fights fucking bombs. Like, it wasn't like Butterbean was like this, like, it was cool to watch Butterbean because you were guaranteed a knockout, but it wasn't like Butterbean was like this fit, like this, like you were, well, he was no Mike Tyson. You were not afraid of Butterbean. So with that said, it wasn't like Bart Gunn didn't have like in my mind, in my kind of young mind, I was like, Bart Gunn actually has a chance to beat Butterbean. It wasn't like a completely underdog fight. But with that said, after Bart Gunn says he trained in boxing for this, it doesn't show in this match because he is completely leaves his fucking, his guard is down when he gets fucking washed. Like, it's not like he's in boxing. And even Butterbean in the Brawl for All, Dark Side of the Ring, he's like, maybe if he approached me like he did in Brawl for All, he would have had a chance. And I agree with that because he's trying, like, I don't know, man. He's like trying to do like day one boxing training in like a real fight, and he just gets fucking ruined in like 20 seconds. It's very bad. It's very satisfying to watch, but yeah, if you haven't watched that Brawl for All, definitely watch this and watch this fight right after. It's one of the cleanest, most vicious knockouts you've ever seen it in the history of even freak show boxing. It's very great, very satisfying. So definite recommend from me.
Who do you think is doing better in 2020? Vinny Pazienza or Vinny Paz of Jedi Mind Tricks fame?
I haven't seen Vinny Pazienza, but I would assume he's still probably pretty fit, and I can't say the same for Vinny Paz, so I'm going to go with Pazienza.
Me too.
My first match of the night is Wes Barkley versus Eddie Kingston from AIW's Wrestle Rager from a couple years ago. Absolute Intense Wrestling. I don't have much notes for this match. I kind of put this match on the mixtape for a couple reasons, and one of the reasons I'll get to at the end of this. But the first reason is because Wes Barkley, friend of the show, he's a cool guy, and I think this guy, like, I don't know Wes Barkley that personally. Like, I've talked to him, hung out with him, but like, I don't know what his thinking is, but I think this dude is like real good at being like a guy you want to see get his ass beat. And I think he's really good at talking, and he usually teams with Josh Bishop, who is a pretty big dude. So I think they make like a good tag team of shit talkers and like a shit talking like weasel guy and a guy like who could actually kick your ass. So, I've heard probably more people than I would ever expect say that they checked out AIW from hearing about it from Virtual Pros, which I would have never imagined. I would think it was vice versa. But so if you haven't checked out Wes Barkley and Josh Bishop, definitely check them out, the Rip City Shooters. And as far as I know, I haven't seen every Wes Barkley match, but this is definitely the best one. I was here live, and it's basically Eddie Kingston being like the king shit ass beater, finally getting his hands on Wes Barkley and beating the ever-loving shit out of him, including a lot of fucking heavy chops, just chopping the shit out of Wes Barkley. It sounds like it hurts. It looks like it hurts. It's very bad. And that's a lot of the match. Yeah, outside of that, Wes is like a dude, like you see him, you hear him talk shit, and you're like, I want that guy to get his ass beat. This match is pretty good. It's like a lot of Eddie, like the first half of it is Eddie Kingston just beating the shit out of this dude. And then like Wes mounts a comeback, and you're like, holy shit, he has a chance. And then, Eddie Kingston finishes the job. The reason I put this on the mixtape, though, the second reason I put this on the mixtape is not actually on this video, and I was kind of afraid about that once I saw the runtime. But I was like, I'll put this on the video anyways. I don't know if this part of it is on like the actual DVD or it's on because I think they stream this on IWTV, so you could probably watch this on IWTV. Or I don't know if they cut it for the DVD or what, but basically, if you look in the top left corner, of where, where the hard cam's facing, the top left corner is, Wes Barkley's friends, the Barkley Nation. There's a bunch of dudes there, a bunch of drunk bros that are, pretty wild for Wes because they're his friend. And you can see, spoiler alert, as soon as Eddie pins Wes Barkley, like these dudes, like they're immediately flipping off Eddie Kingston. One of the dudes pushes the guardrail closer to the fucking, to the ring, and he's just like flipping off, and then it fades to black, and it's like, oh, we missed the best part, which is this is probably the closest I've ever been at a wrestling show where I was like, there's going to be like a real fight like between a wrestler and people in the audience, and this is going to be great because like after this, Eddie Kingston gets on the mic and he's talking all this shit. Wes Barkley's mom is there, and he's talking shit to his mom. He's talking shit to all these dudes. Like I'm just like, this is fucking going down. This is actually happening. And it doesn't. I mean, there's like, I think there might have been like a little shoving, but it never like actually goes down. But it was like real intense. I mean, I think that's part, like, I don't know why AAW left it on the off the YouTube, unless they're like, oh, maybe if we leave it off, people buy the DVD, or I don't know if they just cut it out entirely when they edited it, but it was definitely like a real big element to the match. I'm not saying you definitely need that to enjoy this match, because I do think this is a really good, like, getting to see somebody get like their comeuppance type of match, and I think it's really satisfying. But I definitely missed that element. But if there's a possible way to see that footage, it's definitely worth watching.
My first bullet point, did the mystery of who stole the Virtual Pro sticker off the toilet, now that's class, get figured out? I'm very curious. Worldwide, if you're listening, let me know, baby. Also, I think he wants to play some Mario Kart with us, so hit us up. I kind of think this mixtape is just turned into some like vanity project for Mike, as I see him in the background. Having the time of his life, watching Eddie Kingston just fucking fishhook this poor man, Maserati West. That's pretty mean. But I've never seen Eddie Kingston hulk up. But once that shirt came off, coupled with the fact that we were getting basketball shorts, Eddie Kingston, I knew it was a wrap for poor Wes. And sure enough, there's a brain buster in here that looks pretty bad. Yep, I liked it. But yeah, this was good. There was a "fuck the Yankees" chant during this match, which cracked me the fuck up. My last match of the night is Do Fixer versus Blood Generation, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, 3/31/2006. So I pretty much picked this because like it was all over the timeline, and like I've actually seen like a bunch of these dudes in this match pull off one of the best live matches I've ever seen. It was at a Dragon Gate show during Wrestlemania 26 weekend in Phoenix. So I was kind of curious about how this match would pan out. A match that happened 4 years prior. And so off top, Yoshino, he still looked to be like the fastest man in existence, which is like pretty rad to watch. During the match, Do Fixer, I'm not sure what their stable mentality is, But I think there's some cowards because like a lot of this match is just them watching Blood Generation do fucking 3-on-1 beatdowns on their friends. And I was like, why don't you just hop in? There's no rules. Just do it. But they didn't. And so like the first, like, I would say 13 minutes of this match, I mean, there were some fucking moves. There were some moves, man, where like, you know, they're not in Fire Pro. It's pretty modern looking, but it was like empty calories. But then when Dragon Kid, he hits like this great looking sunset flip powerbomb, I was like, all right, I'm buying in on this match. And it's always like fun to watch this era of like ROH lose their mind, even though there was a please don't stop chant, which is like, I don't know about that chant. But overall, it was like a really nice modern interpretation of like the M-Pro 6-man tags that we love watching. And I don't think it beats the one in 2010. I think Dave actually may have given it 5 stars. So peep that one as well. But overall, I thought this was good. What'd you think?
So first off, I did not, like Al said, I was going to pick this too because so many people are like, oh my God, they uploaded this match and I have never seen it before. So I was like, oh, I'll definitely check it out. But Al uploaded it. So I did not know the backstory of this match. I did not know this took place in Chicago or adjacent to Chicago. So once they say it on the video, I texted 01 Dr. Keith. And I was like, hey, man, were you at this match? And a little light flex from Dr. Keith. He just texted me back with front row. So that's that's how Dr. Keith is living. I know I'm Rich Mike, but I think Rich Dr. Keith, too. It's in his name, though, Doctor. Yeah, of course he's rich. Yeah. But anyways, speaking of people in the audience, there's also a burly kid, big husky kid on the hard cam side in a Captain America shirt. Not like a shirt like, like a fan shirt, but like an actual, like the top of the Captain America uniform. He's wearing that whole shit. And, in modern eyes, you're like, oh, well, Captain America's been in many, loved movies that people just love. Not in 2006, man. No one fucking cared about Captain America in 2006. So shout out to this kid for riding for Captain America back in the dark days. Because I don't think anybody gave a shit about Captain America in 2006, but this kid did. So good for you, man. Early in the match, it's Lenny Leonard and somebody is on commentary. I don't know who. But one of them makes the false claim that Genki Horiguchi, Genki means bald. That's not true. His name was Genki before he was bald, man. Like, what the fuck are you saying? And then later on, the crowd starts chanting H-A-G-E, which is Hage, which means bald. And, one of the guys says, oh, they're chanting that for Genki Horiguchi. It's like, dude, this was your chance to correct yourself. But anyways, small things. But Genki does not mean bald. Anybody watching this match, that's just that dude's name. At one point during this match, they start advertising like the ROH hotline and other shit, and they advertise for shoot interviews, which I think is very weird to be advertising during an actual wrestling match. I feel like it's kind of like if you went to like a fried chicken place and they had like a mascot, like a cartoon mascot of a live chicken eating fried chicken. And it's like, you can't do that. It's like cannibalization. And I think that's like what it was like advertising shoot interviews during an actual wrestling match. So kind of bad form, ROH. Wait to advertise the shoot interviews on the internet. Don't do them during your fake wrestling match. This was obviously 2006 before the invention of HD television. So, I guess to perfect the ratio of this YouTube video, it's in kind of in like a square TV box. And I don't know if it's that or just how it was filmed, but this is very claustrophobic camera work. I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if it's just because of the aspect ratio, but claustrophobic camera work works in horror movies. It doesn't really work in wrestling. So there's a lot of tight shots in this where, I think they could have this breathe a little, like get that camera a little farther back because these dudes are going fast and you just have these tight shots. But that's just the nerd in me. This whole match, like Al said, they do a lot of sprinting. They do a lot of the moves you would expect from these kind of guys to do. And it kind of really bums me out that Dragon Gate USA was, I guess I would say, like a little ahead of their time where they probably closed up shop before they could have gotten really popular. Because I think if Dragon Gate USA was around now, it would be sold out instantly. Like every show they ever did would be sold out because more people are into Japanese wrestling. More people know these guys. It's like kind of a thing. And, I don't even know. I think the last time I saw Dragon Gate USA was, I don't know, like 2013, and it wasn't like packed or anything. So, yeah, it kind of sucks that this wasn't around now because being able to see these matches regularly in the US would be great, but unfortunately, it's dead. This is also a reason why I think, sometimes I mention that I think tag team wrestling is dumb or antiquated. And this is kind of the reason why. These guys are they're so crazy. They're doing so many team moves. They're doing so many choreographed moves. They know each other's bodies. They know, these guys are just so good at what they're fucking doing that you watch this and then you watch like four guys that don't know each other, in tag teams doing like tag team shit. And it's like, this sucks. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, if I don't see tag team wrestling at this kind of level, it doesn't work for me. And doesn't mean I hate all tag team wrestling. Like I've said before, I think AEW does a good job of tag team wrestling, but having tag team wrestling just for the sake of having it's kind of shitty. And when you see like shit like this, that's why shit like this looks so good, because these dudes have probably fucking practiced their whole lives with each other to do this shit. And that's what ruins the rest of tag team wrestling for me. Outside of that, at the last third of this match, the commentary just stops. And I think it was probably some technical difficulties, but I would like to think this was really like the ROH version of the Owen voice, where they were just like, this is so crazy, we can't even make a sound. We can't even believe what they're seeing. So it kind of works in a way, even though it was probably technical difficulty. But yeah, this was, definitely recommend. I think Al said it, but I don't think this moved me as much as the old Michinoku 90s matches or anything like that. But I can imagine being like kind of ignorant to this type of wrestling in 2006 and seeing it, your mind being blown. So it's good. It's definitely a recommendation. My last match of the night is Manami Toyota versus Kaoru Ito from All Japan Women's 2000. And this was a match I kind of chose because, well, first I was kind of in the mood to watch something like this. It's been a minute since we did a match like this on the mixtape. And Caden is a dude on Twitter that does a lot of jiffing, and he posted some fucking gifs from one of their other matches. It wasn't this one, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty cool. I'll put that in the mixtape. And it turns out these women have had a lot of matches together, and a lot of them go on to a runtime that I don't appreciate because it's too long. And this one had the coolest still screenshot for the cover, which was Manami Toyota jumping off a scaffold. So I was instantly drawn to this one, and it was kind of short compared to the other one, so it worked out. So that's why I chose it. No other reason. Kaoru Ito has a pretty sweet theme song. It sounds like a song I know in real life, but I can't pinpoint it. It sounds like I wish I could think of what I was thinking, because it sounds like a song that came out after. So I think a band I like ripped this song off, and they heard this, and I know you're out there, band. And I know your secrets now. You ripped off this Ito song. This match is a complete recommendation just for the streamers in this match. Just for the intro. If you have no patience for this type of wrestling, just watch it for the intros and the streamers. That's why I don't mind that they don't really do the streamers anymore, because no one can do it like this. It is just mountains and mountains and mountains of streamers being thrown, and it's a pretty great visual. Manami Toyota starts off pretty early doing that rolling cradle move, and she does it for so long. It's like over a minute, and it's pretty impressive. This video quality this is the year 2000, which, given is 20 years ago, but this looks like it was 70 years ago. And I don't know, man, maybe if I was a young person, that's how the year 2000 looks now. I'm thinking about when I was high school, and the 70s looked like it was fucking a million years ago, and that makes me feel real old that somebody who's like 22 right now, probably this is what the year 2000 really actually looks to them. Even the people in the audience, they pan to people in the audience, and it's like they look like they're from ancient times. And it didn't feel that long ago. I'm just getting old. So this match it's clipped, but it's clipped in a way where they don't want you to know what's clipped. And it took me a while to figure out it was clipped, but before I figured out it's clipped, they do the match that's from the screen, or the spot that's from the screenshot, which is they spill outside of the ring and Manami Toyota jumps off the scaffold. But it's clipped in a way where it looks like she basically throws Ito out of the ring and immediately runs to the scaffold and jumps off of it. And I had to rewind it because I was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, no one sets up this kind of spot that quick. And it was pretty cool to think about, somebody just immediately throwing somebody out of the ring and then immediately jumping onto a scaffold and jumping onto her. It probably wasn't that quick in real life, but it is a pretty good visual. So that's one of the times that actually clipping a match actually works out. So there is, shortly after that, Ito gets the upper hand and does probably one of the most brutal double foot stomps to the outside of the ring to Toyota I've ever seen in my life. There's no way you're faking this shit. I don't care what you say to me. This was a real double foot stomp. There's no way Toyota's guts weren't feeling this after this match. And then I kind of figured out after this is like Ito's one. I wasn't familiar with Ito. I don't really know this woman. I'm probably going to watch a few of her matches after this, but she seems to be the double stomp queen. She is spamming the double stomp over and over again. It just seems like that's her move. And I love it. She's kind of a burly woman, so it kind of makes sense that this would be her move. And every single time she hits it, it looks real. So I think I have a new favorite women's wrestler. I think it's Kaoru Ito because she loves the double foot stomp. This match finishes with a top rope power bomb from Ito, and I don't know. This is like the controversy of the great Sasuke versus Jushin Liger. If that fucking slip off the rope is real or was a botch. I have the same feeling about the final moments of this match where Ito does a top rope power bomb to Toyota, and Toyota kind of catches the ropes and like in an awkward way and kind of rolls off of him, and it looks very dangerous. And I don't know if she was supposed to hit the ropes and kind of bounce harder, or if she wasn't supposed to hit the ropes after, or what. But it definitely looked very dangerous and definitely added a lot to the match, even if it was a botch or even if it was on purpose. But either way, this was a great match. Even clipped, it was very great. These women, for whatever reason, have a million matches on YouTube, and I'll probably watch a few more. But this is highly recommended from me. But what did you think, Al?
Man, 2000s era Manami Toyota. My name is Al. Thank you, that's how are you? Karo Ito's flame singlet's cool though too, man. I wonder if she's a fan of Win Kanemura. That's what it reminded me of. Yeah, not much else to add. Like, this has to be one of the most powerful rolling cradles I've ever seen on film. It might be a shoot. She might have really meant that one. And that's why I kind of really like any Manami Toyota match, because like this cradle happens like a minute in, and like fuck a 9-minute feeling out process. Like, we're just gonna go for it like immediately, which is appreciated to me at least. That dive off the scaffold on the fucking bare ass concrete, like Manami Toyota has like a for real death wish. And then you talked about it, but that top rope foot stomp to the outside, I thought you might have like convulsed here, but I'm glad you're doing fine, because it was bad. It was gross. But yeah, like the way this is clipped, it's like a highlight video, which is pretty rad for this match, because it just seems like they're just throwing like bomb after bomb. And that finish, strong recommendation. I loved it. Just stop what you're doing and watch it. It's bad. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that match. That was episode 108 of That World Champion Sound. A fucking Mondo episode. Grief. Any last words, Mike?
Hey, stay inside and come play video games with us.
Let's do it, man. Final Fantasy comes out tonight. I can't fucking wait, dude. Maybe I'll stream it. Who knows? I won't stream it. See you guys in 2 weeks.
See ya.